Right, it's Sunday. I know the official schedule that I put out. I said no videos on a Sunday, but I have to make this video today. I just kind of have to, you know. Uh, on Over the week, I was able to pick up some more books, and I am starting to get caught up with Daredevil. Again, not caught up, beginning to get caught up. I have the first 4 issues, even though it's now on issue I think it's nearing issue 20. So yeah, it's still amazingly behind. But I'm doing this because I wasn't able to stream yesterday. The reason why I didn't stream yesterday is because I didn't get a substantial amount of books to be able to review them in a stream-like fashion. I will stream again at some point, but I don't know. Again, that schedule was it was stupid for me to come out with a schedule because I'm not going to be able to keep to it. But anyway, I'm going to talk about Daredevil today, my favourite superhero. So yeah, just roll the intro. So in the previous Daredevil arc, we at the end of the previous run on Daredevil, we basically witnessed Matt Murdock die. He essentially got hit by a bus and died, and that's the heroic end death of Daredevil. But in the next issue, he's fine, and we did have a mini-series that I didn't read because it was I don't care for this mini-series. But Daredevil's got a new one going, and basically the mini-series was just Daredevil reappointing his place in Hell's Kitchen. But here, Daredevil's back, and he's not as good as he was. He's not as good as he once was. So he's out doing his Daredevil thing, and he encounters 2 street thugs that are robbing a bank, and he attempts to intervene, gets beaten up quite badly, and has to run away. And then there's an explosion that kills one of the guys, and the whole point of this first arc is Daredevil trying to come to terms with the fact that he killed a guy. It may not have been him actively actively snapping his neck, but he died due to a circumstance that Daredevil was entirely, he died due to something that was entirely Daredevil's fault. And he spends the whole arc, or the whole first 3 issues, basically trying to come to terms with this, and also he's being chased down by the police because he killed a guy, and it's one of those stories where you're yeah, he did a bad thing. The police are kind of in the right. They have 100% got the right to arrest Daredevil because he killed a guy, and Daredevil's A, avoiding police, B, trying to kind of piece together a way for him to kind of not look like the bad guy, because he believes that he's being set up until the point where he's essentially told, no, I didn't set you up. There's some stuff with the Kingpin in this. He doesn't really play much of a role. He's just kind of, oh yes, Daredevil is finally being seen as a fugitive. I've won, and he's just being the mayor. He's off being the mayor, and kind of and once Daredevil is arrested, we have this new police officer that's introduced called Cole North, and his whole thing is he takes no shit. He doesn't like Wilson Fisk. He doesn't like the fact that he has to work for Wilson Fisk. But he also doesn't like costume vigilantes either. He doesn't like the fact that there's a crime boss running New York. He also doesn't like the fact that Daredevil gets to run around in a suit, which I guess there will be police officers that are like this. I guess there will be police officers like this if there were costume vigilantes running around, because they're essentially doing the job for them, doing it better, but they still expect the police to do their job at the end of the day and keep them locked up. So I would imagine that a lot of police officers would be, they would be, against vigilantism, because vigilantism is a crime in our world. But whilst he's trying to arrest Daredevil after this big street chase fight thing, most of the police officers just stand and watch and don't do anything. And then when Cole North tries to unmask Daredevil, one of the other police officers is like, no, we don't do that here. He's put away a lot of bad people, and the way we see it, he's one of us. So cops, whether they've broken the law or not, we do not arrest cops like we arrest other perps or other criminals. They're still giving him a shred of dignity, because he did, he has made the city a better place. He has sworn to protect Hell's Kitchen, and he's done a pretty good job of it. And then whilst he's being arrested, just a load of fucking armies worth of bullets just start raining down, and all of them from automated guns on rooftops. So as Daredevil tries to flee, he's just knocked unconscious, tied up, and he wakes up to the sound of Frank Castle's voice. And Frank Castle is just like, you've finally seen the light, you're finally killing criminals. This is something that you should have been doing a long time ago. And Daredevil's just like, no, it was a mistake, you're a monster. Which is true, but also, Frank Castle's always if you see yourself sympathising with the comic book version of Frank Castle, you are a psychopath yourself, because Frank Castle is not written to be sympathetic. He's written to be a no-nonsense asshole that is actually a psychopath. The Frank Castle from the show is sympathetic. He's killing people because his family was killed, and he's represented to have some form of PTSD. Frank Castle from the comic books is just, I want to kill people because I enjoy killing people. I enjoy killing people, but it's wrong to kill, normal, everyday people. So I kill the criminals to satiate my bloodthirst. It's like he's a serial killer, essentially, but he only kills the bad guys, and that's how he justifies killing. So he's got Daredevil tied up, and he's about to kill this other guy who's working for the Owl, and he's got no information, so he's about to shoot him. Then Daredevil just leaps into action and just like grabs 2 pistols, and Frank Castle's like, "You won't kill me. You'll aim for the Kevlar. You'll aim for places that won't kill me." And he's like, and Daredevil's like, "You're right. I won't kill you, and I won't turn into you, because if I did, I'd do your job 10 times better than you would. I would actually, like, essentially he's like, if I was like you, it would be like bringing in a hammer to do the job of a scalpel." He's essentially like, "Frank, you're a demon, but I'm the devil." And that is possibly the most badass thing that Daredevil's ever done in like the entire comic history. For as long as I've been reading Daredevil, that is the most badass thing Daredevil has ever done. He's just standing up to Frank Castle, and he's like, if I was like you, there would be no criminals at all." But where the comic ends off, or where the end of issue 4 is, it's Daredevil hands Frank Castle over to the police, but Frank Castle isn't wearing his like skull shirt. Instead, Daredevil's walking around in his usual uniform, but as the issue cover would suggest, he's walking around in Punisher's shirt. So what does that mean for the next issue? I have no clue. I have no idea what that could infer for the next issue. Is he going to start killing criminals? Is he going to start being more violent? Is he actually going to be like the Punisher? Because the whole of that issue, the whole of issue 4 is kind of based around Daredevil not wanting to become like the Punisher and trying to explain why it's a bad idea for him to start killing criminals. And then for them to turn around and say, no, he's just going to become like the Punisher anyway. That would be a bit lazy. That would be a bit lazy and a bit like... It wouldn't make any sense if he would turn around and be like, I'm going to kill people now because I want to kill people. And it's like, no, you spent a whole issue trying to justify why you don't kill people, why you're not like Frank Castle, and then you end the issue wearing Frank Castle's shirt. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. But it would be interesting to take this to where to take this where it goes, because there's a lot of Daredevil questioning his own mortality and trying to justify why he's still doing this, or why he's still Daredevil. There's a point where he's sitting down and he's like, have I lost my edge? Am I good enough anymore? Am I getting too old to be Daredevil? And how long can I keep on doing this until it kills me? And it's a weird time to bring up something like that after he's just literally come back from the dead. But it's a very interesting it's an interesting story to tell, having Daredevil just question his mortality, because at the end of the day he's not like got a healing factor. He's just got heightened senses, and we don't actually have a clear indication. I don't think we've ever had a clear indication whether Daredevil is a metahuman or whether he is actually superpowered, or whether he's just a regular blind guy that's just been trained to use his other senses, better. Like we don't have those answers in like, we haven't been given those answers in comic book form yet. The movie and the show just said, yeah, he's a metahuman, but we don't actually have the answers in the comics to say whether he is fully a metahuman or whether he's just really well trained. Because we have people like Stick, and he's just really well trained, and then Daredevil, he's just got powers. But we know he has the radar sense, but he's not like an actual superhuman. He's not like got like superhuman strength, speed, agility, stamina. He has a heightened stamina. But he's not like, he couldn't topple a city, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, Daredevil issues 1 through 4 definitely hypes me up for the rest of the run. I hope it stays to this quality. Oh yeah, this is by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto as well. Both insanely good. Chip Zdarsky has written some great comics. He wrote Spider-Man's Life Story, which is amazing. He wrote Marvel 2-in-1, which is amazing. Much better than the current Fantastic Four run, which is just, it's just okay. It had one good issue, which was issue 5, which wasn't even like anything to do with the story arc or anything. But it had that one good issue, and then the others are just, it's okay. But the thing that I've always had with Fantastic Four is it's always lacked stakes. Like there's a lot of like Fantastic Four stuff where it's always 4 people versus 1 villain. So there's one person doing a lot of work, whilst the others just stand and watch. At least with every Fantastic Four comic that I've read. Maybe there's been Fantastic Four comics where it's like where they all get play at some point. But with the ones that I've read, it's always been like, oh, Reed's doing the main action stuff when everyone else is just watching. Which I don't find that interesting to watch or read. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video off here. Daredevil issues 1 through 4 by Chip Zdarsky. Definitely recommend. Daredevil is one of the best things coming out of Marvel at the moment. Just judging off of these first 4 issues, I have heard really good things about Daredevil going forward, and I am hoping and praying that I enjoy it even a percentage of the amount that everyone else is, because Daredevil is my favourite superhero, and I want Daredevil to always be good, and Daredevil has always been good, apart from when he's with Charles Soule. Because that run was good to start with, and then it just went downhill very, very quickly, and all of the Mephisto stuff was very meandering, and it's still meandering to this day. And in this, it's just kind of like they're trying to do something interesting with Wilson Fisk. They're leading into something interesting with Wilson Fisk, and yeah, I like Chip Zdarsky on Daredevil. I think it's a really good pick, and I like the art, and I like the storytelling, and I like how it's still dark and gritty, but there's a little bit of humor, but it's like human humor. It's like the kind of humor that you would expect from a Daredevil comic book. It's like the same. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Check out the links below to my my Instagram, my Twitter, my Tumblr, everything else. Yeah, peace.